This week's portion, Lech Lecha, begins really the story of the Jewish people as found in the Torah. Chapter 12 of the book of Genesis introduces us to Abraham and Sarah, or actually Abram and Sarai, before their names are changed later, and their household as they begin their journey that God commands Abram to go on from the land of Haran, which is modern-day Syria, to the land of Israel, the land of Canaan, the land, as the Torah says, God will show them. There's an interesting note, though, in the prior week's Torah portion that teaches us an interesting lesson about the journey itself. We all take for granted that Abram and Sarai, once they heard from God the command to go to Canaan, to the land of Israel, that is when they decided to go, and that the journey itself became a commandment from God to do so. It was part of the mission, part of the covenant that was established between God and Abram and Sarai, that it was not just a relationship between God and this family, which becomes God and the Jewish people, but also a relationship, a covenant that is associated with the land of Israel. However, in the prior week's portion, at the end of the portion Noah, we're told that Abram and Sarai and their household, in fact their father Terach as well, began the journey from Ur Kasdim, which is probably somewhere in Iraq today. From Ur Kasdim, it tells us that they were all planning to go to the land of Canaan. And so they had in mind, before God ever talked to them, to go to the land of Canaan. Somehow, along the way, they felt that the journey they were taking was a momentous one. It was not just a regular travel. It wasn't just part of business or about looking for better pasture land. They had in mind that somehow this journey became a spiritual journey. And so it transforms what we find in chapter 12 from something that is a commandment from God, and then they go, to a sense that they were going, and as they were going, they felt that the journey transformed to something more sacred and more spiritual. That, I think, is even a more profound lesson, something that we can relate to, because there are times in our life that we are in the midst of doing something that we realize, wow, this is really special, this is really different from what we've done before. And if we can recognize that there's something spiritual about that, then that elevates the journey that we're on into a blessed journey, and we feel as if we are connected to God as well. May all of our journeys be blessed ones, and may we feel that connection with God. Shabbat Shalom.